all the years that I've been here, I've always played at the Alamo Drafthouse, which is probably the best theaters in the world, and this was at the Paramount Theater, which is a beautiful old theater, but it's 1,200 seats, so that was really intimidating. And we were Saturday night, and we don't, those are usually left for like the giant mega movie star, like, tentpole films. So to be an independent film and have that is really intimidating. And the fact that we filled it is, I'm very humbled by that. So it couldn't have gone better. I think it actually went as good as it could. It started because when we made House of the Devil, we were staying at the Yankee Pedlar Hotel in Connecticut, and we would drive about 40 minutes to Lime Rock, Connecticut, to where the house was for the movie. But when we would finish shooting every day and we would go back to the hotel, all this weird stuff would happen. And the weird people that worked there and just all these odd, kooky things. So it almost got to the point where stranger things were happening at our hotel than were happening at this satanic movie set. And I didn't think much of it. It was just a weird, kooky thing that was going on. And then a year and a half later, House of the Devil had come out, done well, and I was doing another movie, and I was going to get out of it and not do it anymore. And I was like, wow, but I really want to make something, and what if I made another small movie that I can do right now? And I was talking to a friend of mine, Joe Swanberg, who also has a film here, and for some reason the Peddler came out, we were joking around, and he was like, you should just write that movie. And I was like, oh man, if I wrote that quick, and then the hotel said okay, we could just make that movie right away. And that's what happened. So it was those weird personal experiences that kind of inspired me. Well, I think that 85% of directing is just casting. I think you cast the right people who understand the part and understand what they're doing, and then you don't have to fuss with it too much. And it's really important to me to get people who get along in real life, because it's very traumatic making a movie. So to have people that you just like being with during like 12-hour days every day, I think is really important. And Pat and Sarah were that way. So, even though their characters in the movie are very different than them in real life, the banter is quite similar in real life. So that was what I was just trying to make sure we had, so that way everything came across very natural and came across. Because to me, the point of making this movie is to make a charming movie that was relatable and that you actually look at these characters and goes, oh, that's like me. Like because I'm only qualified to make movies or be like a busboy. I don't have any intermediate skills, so I don't know how to work on movies. So if I don't do movies anymore, I got to go back to working at the mall, and which I don't want to do. But that to me was what I was really trying to get across, was that sort of it's not that bad. Like, it's not digging ditches, but there's something about it that's just not quite fulfilling, and I think that's interesting. And then Kelly, she had done another Glass Eye Pix movie called Stakeland, and they recommended her, and she was in London, and we Skyped, and she was great because she had a good sense of humor about the script and about herself, to where she wasn't, a lot of people didn't, it was a tough role to cast because a lot of people weren't okay making with those jokes about themselves. They're being like labeled a has-been, which the funny thing is that the character's not really a has-been. She's just moved on to do something else in her life. But when these older actresses would read the script, they would just be like, I don't want to be such an asshole, or I don't want people to be so mean to me, or I don't want to be called a has-been. It was just like, okay, well, it's not for you then. And I think it hit a little too close to home for people. And Kelly just totally was like, whatever, man, it's cool, we'll do it. So, yeah, that was great. No, I would like to do big studio stuff. It's just, to do a big studio horror movie is tough because horror currently is such the lowest common denominator that I don't think my aesthetic fits in with it very well. So, it's hard, and I sort of, tried it once and it backfired on me a little bit. So I just, I want to do big stuff. I want to do movies that don't all take place at the same location. I want to do crane shots. I want to do all the stuff that I've never had the access to do. But I also don't want to make a stupid movie. And a lot of times, after House of the Devil, I got offered every movie that took place in a house or was about a satanic cult there was. And everyone, I was just like, it's just not going to be good. Like, I wanted to take the job and I wanted to do the big movie, but I was just like, it's going to turn out bad because, the people, the movie that they wanted to make and the movie that I thought I would make out of it weren't the same. And so it would be just like the last experience where eventually it goes well for a while and then all of a sudden it becomes and so after that last experience I'm better off avoiding that. So but I have met some people who are really smart and really great on a higher profile scale, and so I think after this I'll probably try doing something bigger, but I'm impatient, so if not, I'll make another small movie next year, because I just want to always be, I like prolific people and I like to just keep working. I don't think about it as much as everybody thinks that I do think about it, but yeah, I guess it is just my aesthetic. I mean, I think all my sort of favorite movies you know, like I'm just not in a hurry. Like I don't make horror movies to see people get killed, and a lot of people go to see them for that, and I'm just not one of those people. So I may never deliver to that crowd the way that they want, so that's okay, you know, but I just, that's not my aesthetic. I don't think about, I'm not out there trying to make these like sort of slow burn movies. Even when people started saying about this one, I was like, what? This one's regular burn, what are you talking about? But I might be out of touch. For me, it's just like the only way that the scary stuff works is if there's a strong contrast between that and the not scary stuff, and I feel very strongly about that. And I think that the only way that the tension works is if you care about the characters, and the only way to do that is to spend time hanging out with them. And you know, you need to do that for more than 5 minutes, I think. You know, it's like one of my favorite movies ever is The Karate Kid, and it's an hour into the movie before he even learns about karate, and it's like, if he didn't get his ass beat for an hour, then the crane kick wouldn't be cool, you know. But it's legendary because of that, and I think that that applies to all movies, not just karate movies, not just horror movies. It's like, these are movies and they're about people and they're about stories. They're not just about the lowest common denominator of heads getting cut off, or in my case with this movie, ghosts popping out. There are some, they'll be there, but like if you're only going to see that, I think that's a weird, I mean, I guess it's okay, but I don't feel the same way. That's not why I go see movies. I go see to see stories and to, you know, see movies about people. I'm gonna rest for like a week, but no, I think so if I'm lucky. No, I have a science fiction movie that I'm most likely gonna do next, which is a little bit bigger. And then there's some other stuff too, but you know, we'll see. I don't like to jinx it, but I think the science fiction movie is most likely what's gonna happen.